Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Ali. In today's video we're going to be talking about highlighting and contouring. Believe it or not, I actually get this question all the time. How do I contour and highlight my face? Well, for starters, we all have a different face shape. So some of us have more defined jaws like myself. Some of us have a more round face, an elongated face, or a heart-shaped face. Keeping that in mind, in this video I'm just going to show you how I contour and highlight. When you highlight and contour, basically all you are doing is bringing light and attention to features that you want to outline on your face. For example, the tops of your cheeks, the bridge of your nose, your forehead, and sometimes your chin, depending on the shape of your face. When you go in with a contour shade, you're actually creating natural shadows on your face to create the illusion of depth, which helps bring out all of the highlights that you've created. So as you can see, I already have a full face of makeup, and I'm just gonna go in with the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour and Highlighting Palette, and I also have the Wet n Wild Contour Palette. I tend to gravitate more towards my Wet n Wild palette, even though this bronzy shade can be a little too warm for contouring. This is great for giving warmth to the face. I'll typically go in with a color like this one just to warm up my face, and then I will pick something that has more of a cool or gray tone to create the sharp lines that I will later blend out to create more definition to my face. I do really like this yellow powder here, and if you look at the Shade and Light palette, there are very similar shades, so I don't know which one to use. We're gonna start with the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contour Palette, and I'm going to use this yellow shade right here to highlight my face. I have already set my concealer, so this is kind of just gonna sit on top of that. And as you can see, I'm going in with that yellow shade underneath my eyes just to highlight where I have put down my concealer. Alright, now I'm going to be going in with the darker shade, and all I'm going to be doing with this is actually warming up my face. I'm not actually going to contour. I'm going to be using a cooler tone shade from the Kat Von D palette. I'm going to be going in with a stippling brush so I have a little bit more control and I get precise placement of where I'm going to be putting this brown. Since it is a little bit warmer and a little bit darker, I don't want to concentrate it in a certain place. I just kind of want to use it to give me a little bit of warmth. This stuff is so pigmented, so you do want to go in with a very light hand, and I like to start out with my forehead. That way I can map out the shape of my face, and then I leave my cheeks for last. And as you can see, the powder is super pigmented. I already am like 2 shades darker on my forehead. Whoop, whoop. I do need some color in my life. I'm so damn pale. So typically the places you want to bronze are like the top of your forehead and around your temples. And you don't want to drag this down too much, because then it's just going to get all over your forehead and you're not going to create any dimension. You're just going to have like a really tan forehead, and that's not the point of this video. I mean, you can go for that Oompa Loompa look if you'd like, but I don't recommend it. And I like to bring the brown shade around and underneath my jaw. I have a pretty defined jawline, but you know, girls getting a double chin these days, so we gotta make sure we contour that. 'Cause ain't nobody got time for a double chin, girl. Now I'm going to very lightly go into my cheeks, and the reason being is because I'm not gonna use this color for contouring, like I said before. We're just warming up the face and giving it some color, putting in some color that the foundation took away because 306 is too dark. Now we have a warm face. I'm gonna be going in with a precision contour brush. You don't need anything fancy or crazy. I actually kind of don't really like this Real Techniques brush for the reason that I find that because it is so dense, it's stiff and it's very hard to apply product, so I wouldn't recommend this for a beginner. I mean, even when I bought this, I've been doing makeup forever, and when I first bought this, it took me months to learn how to use it properly and be able to control where the placement of my contour was gonna go. So now I've gotten a little bit better. And I think I'm gonna go into my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and we're gonna go in with this grayish undertone contour shade, and this one is called Subconscious. And I'm going to use a very light hand, and I'm actually gonna tilt this at an angle, which is what you want. And these are very pigmented, so you want to tap off your excess and have a little bit of product on your brush and do a fishy face. And go in very gently. And you want to work the product up so that you don't give yourself a beard by going down. Basically, your contour line should be going in like right in between your cheeks and your jawline, and it's going to hug your cheekbone, so you want to connect that to your forehead. And as you can see, I am working very slowly. And I'm trying not to be heavy-handed. I don't know how some girls here do it on YouTube. They go in with so much powder, and I'm just over here like having a heart attack every single time I see that. Like, how do you blend that out, girl? The point of contouring is, again, creating a very natural shadow, so I don't know how people go in with a ton of product. Now going back in with my stippling brush, I'm gonna make sure that we're nice and blended. Now that we've got our contour down and a little bit of highlight, we're gonna be going in with an actual highlighter, and we're gonna be highlighting the temples of our cheeks, the bridge of our nose, and a little bit on the chin and the cupid's bow, because those are my favorite places to place highlighter. And I'm going in with a stippling brush. And the point of using this type of shimmery highlighter is that these particles deflect light from your face, so they accentuate the parts of your face where natural sunlight would reflect light off of. So yeah. And even though I love going in with the heavy hand on the highlighter, I try not to put too much at the tip of my nose because I'm not trying to look like Rudolph, you know? And there we go. Alright, so that's basically it. That is how I highlight and contour my face. I warm up the perimeter of my face, then I go in with a cooler shade to create the shadows, and lastly I highlight the high points of my face and the points where natural light would hit, just to accentuate or bring out and create dimension in those parts of my face. I hope today's video was helpful and that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.